interesting video. I'm going to be drawing a map of the Jewish Autonomous Region, or the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, I think it's pronounced, in eastern Siberia, or southeastern Siberia in Russia. Now, just before we get going, I just wanted to say that we are trying our very hardest to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we just recently, I believe yesterday, hit 700. So thank you for that. But as I say, we're trying our very hardest to get to 1,000. So if you enjoy this video and perhaps end up enjoying any others, then please consider pressing the subscribe button. It obviously helps me out a ton and just lets me know that I'm sort of on the right path, if that makes sense. So thank you for your consideration, and I really hope you enjoy this video. But with that said, we are going to be drawing a map of the, as I mentioned, the Jewish Autonomous Region in southeastern Siberia in Russia. Now, this area became known to me by watching, apologies for that noise, by watching a video by someone I'm sure you've probably heard of, Bold and Bankrupt. He's a guy that goes around Russia and Eastern European countries for the most part, I believe, but I'm sure he's been to other places as well. And he really just dives into the culture, gets immersed in everything that the country has to offer. And he recently did a video where I believe in the end he got kicked out of Russia, but yeah, he went to this Jewish Autonomous Region and it was pretty cool. So we'll get into the history of it later, but for now I just want to get some drawing done. So yeah, this place has a very interesting story, which I think is pretty cool. It's a good merger of history and geography, I think, which is two topics that I know watchers of my videos are fond of, so hopefully you guys enjoy this as well. I did want to upload yesterday, but I have been quite badly ill actually since I last uploaded on Monday. Pretty much as soon as that video went out, I've been stricken with illness, and yeah, as I say, I've been really quite ill. I've been throwing up quite badly actually, sort of on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I am strangely much better today, sort of unexplainedly. But yeah, as I say, I was I was quite ill, and I'm not usually ill, so it was a bit strange for me, but yeah, everything is good now, it seems. So yeah. I hope you guys are all well, as I've said. Apologies, I'm just concentrating on getting this map right. I hope you guys are well, obviously, as always. I am moving house this weekend, and I'm getting a new piece of tech. I'm actually getting a touchscreen laptop, so I hope I'm going to be able to implement that in some way. Excuse me, sorry if I'm a bit sniffly and a bit clearing my throat. As I said, I've been a bit ill, so I do apologise for that if it's a bit irritating, but I hope you can understand I wanted to record this. But yeah, I am moving house on Sunday. I'm moving house on Sunday, and I'm excited. I hopefully will have a bit of peace and quiet there. Not that I don't have peace and quiet here, but I will hopefully have more time to record, which is exciting, because yeah, I have some cool ideas that I think would be really fun. Yeah. That's more of a curved edge, actually. So yeah, as I say, I mean, listen, bold and bankrupt, who I became aware of this place from, has 3.5 million subscribers, and I've got 700, so he does not need a recommendation off me. But if you end up thinking that this is perhaps a cool, you know, sort of place, and you want to know more about it, then I would highly, highly recommend you go and check out his video about it, which is, I believe, his latest one, and any of his videos, because I find them absolutely fascinating and very admirable. He really, as I said, throws himself into the culture of wherever he might find himself, really gets stuck in speaking to the locals, excuse me, often in their native tongue, which you can tell they do really appreciate. And he in general just produces a very interesting style of content. I think it's really cool, and I don't think there's many people quite like him on the internet. He's an incredibly outgoing person, and it's very admirable the way he's able to throw himself into these situations so wholeheartedly. You know, it doesn't even seem like he's putting it on for the video. He's just that way inclined, which I think is really cool. So yeah, enough of my gushing. So yeah, if you guys know anything about the Jewish Autonomous Region, then please feel free to share, because I would love to know if you have anything interesting to say about it, because yeah, I find this place very interesting. So this is quite jiggedy and jaggedy, and then it comes up again, and then we want to go down again. That's to do with sort of being okay. That's not too bad. I'm fairly happy with that. So, we do actually have a different country down to the south. I'm going to denote that in, let's go with the orange, because down here we have China and this whole southern border, and even actually all the way around to about here is the border with China. And also, again, as is the case with some of these map videos, this whole southern border here is also a river. It is I'm guessing the Amur River. The Amur River, I think, something like that. And yeah, the border near enough runs down this river. So yeah, I think it seems like a fairly, yeah, I mean, it's obviously, this is a very small part of Russia, but as you'll hopefully know, Russia is a huge place. So this is a fairly long river, and it even goes, this whole river is all the way up to, I'd say, about here. So if you think this whole southern border, and then all the way winding up to this bit here, is the Amur River. Now, I'm not going to do it at the start because I don't think it's officially like recognised as like a capital per se in that sense. organised as always. Yeah, so this is... I've got no chance of writing it in Russian, so I'm going to have to go with the English writing of it. I think it's pronounced Birobichan, I think. From Bold and Bankrupt's video, I believe he pronounced it Birobichan, something like that. What we've got here, where is it? Here is about here. I don't know whether this is pronounced, maybe you can enlighten me, whether this is pronounced Bira or it's maybe Bira. I don't think it's Baira or Baira. I think it's probably either Bira or Bira, but I wouldn't know which consonant has the emphasis, so if maybe anyone is knowledgeable of the fact, that you could potentially let me know down below. Then over here, right on the west coast, we've got one sec, let me just... Okay, we're back, apologies. I had to clear my throat. My guess would be it's pronounced Obluchie. I think the end of it is a cheer. But before that, I'm not too sure. So let me think about what I want to add here. Because let me add. Where's my pencils? Let's get the green out. So from this north coast here, all the way down to sort of just above Birobichan, and then sort of like that. This could do with being a bit more pointy actually, but yeah, this I'm going to shade it in green. We're going to do all the geography and then we'll get into talking a little bit about the history and the story behind the place and why it's known as the Jewish Autonomous Region or Jewish Autonomous Oblast. Again, I do apologise if I'm getting any of these pronunciations wrong. It's not through ignorance, it's through not knowing. Well, I suppose that is what ignorance is, but it's not through, I guess, intentional ignorance. So if you are aware of the right ways to say these things, then please do let me know. This is the State Natural Reserve Bastak, B-A-S-T-A-K. Can you see that? Yeah, that comes up quite well actually. Thank you very much. And then there is a river that runs through the city of Birobichan, which I suppose I could try and denote. It gets quite thick around the city and then quite thin elsewhere, which is a bit strange, but so it's sort of from here, actually. And then sort of winds around and down noise. There we go. This is known as, I guess, is Reka. Oh, you can't really see that, surely. Maybe that's not showing up too well. But this says Reka Bira. Or Bira, I don't know, it's the same spelling as this. So yeah, that's what that's called. Yeah. Okay. Let me just have a look at my reference map. Yeah, I'm going to add one more place actually, which is really out into the east. Excuse me, I sort of hiccuped slightly there. Apologies. Nikolaevka, I think, something like that. Yeah, Nikolaevka. So, yeah. Let's now just add a little title. The curved letters are always the hardest to do with pronounced. As evidenced. That one's not too hard. Autonomous. We'll go with oblast because I think that's the correct way to say it in Russian. I believe oblast is the word for region, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go, the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. So let's have a little bit of a talk about this and what it actually is and how it came about. So, as I mentioned, it's a region of Russia in southeast Siberia, borders China along the Amur River. I believe originally it was set up in the 1930s as a place for Jewish people to seek refuge and for a place in Russia for there to be Jewish people to live with each other and to seek refuge. I believe it was under Joseph Stalin, and I don't think at the time, and even I don't think at all, there ended up being many Jewish settlers at all, and I believe to this day the majority of the settlers in the Jewish Autonomous Region are settlers from Russia and from Ukraine. But there is evidence of Jewish culture and religion in the region. In Birobidzhan, there's a big statue of a menorah, I believe just outside the train station, which is one of those sort of curved candle, I guess it's like a candle stand that's curved. It's got several prongs, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, there's definitely evidence of the Jewish religion around. And yeah, I think it was seen as a way for Jewish people to seek refuge from persecution in several places. I don't think it was just. I mean, it's obviously easy to think at the time of the horrible persecution that the Jews were facing in Europe, but I think it was seen as just a place where any Jewish person could come and seek refuge and be among other Jewish people. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting place. As I said, it's deep in southeast Russia, on the Asia side in Siberia. I believe most of the geographical landscape of the region is sort of swampy lands, grasslands, very wet, fertile lands. There's forests. There's obviously this state natural reserve up here, which is quite large. So I think mainly the main sort of I guess industries are to do with farming, crops, and livestock. I think. Let me have a look. I have a page that's. I just need to refresh my memory. Yeah. Yeah, so agriculture, the cultivation of wheat, rye, oats, soybeans, sunflowers, and vegetables in the Amur Plain, which I guess is this bit here near the river. Fishing for salmon on the important rivers. And yeah, Birobidzhan is known as the administrative centre. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's considered a capital because it's a region, and I don't know the specifics. But Birobidzhan is definitely where most of the population of the region is concentrated for sure. So, and if I was to try and, I guess, give you a sense of perspective as to where this is in Russia, if we considered, I know it's not the exact shape, but if we considered this whole thing to be Russia, this would be about here. We'd be about here, and it's probably only about this big. It's a tiny little speck. Obviously, Russia has the greatest landmass country in the world. But yeah, it's probably about this big, and it's about here. I don't think it's not, right on the east coast, but it's about here. It's quite close. So yeah, I think we will end the video there for today. I really hope you've enjoyed. I really hope you've learned something. I certainly didn't know this place existed until a few days ago, and I found it very interesting, so I really hope that I've passed that interest on to you. If you know anything about this, the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, that I haven't mentioned today, then please let me know in the comments, because I would love to know more about this place, and that's one of the best parts about the comment section of these map videos, is that people drop little bits of knowledge and we all get to learn a little bit. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit more knowledge about things, even if they might not necessarily be, applicable to day-to-day life. I think it's nice to know things, so yeah. If you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed, please consider pressing the like button and obviously subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye guys, and